You initially came up with the idea for Pose in 2004. What has it meant for you to be able to go from then not being told no along the way, and to now being on this carpet tonight talking to me about your show?
It's incredible. It's a surreal experience, But I think one of the things that I learned as a young boy growing up in the Bronx is you can't take no for an answer. You have to trust that inner compass. You have to trust your gut. And I always believed that this story would be told at some point, and that it deserved to be told. That there are so many narratives, that deserve to be told and aren't being centered, right? And I think specifically for the LGBT community, especially for Black folks and for Latin folks, our stories are just never told, and if they are, we aren't at the center of telling the story, and so I had to believe in my heart of hearts that at some point, regardless of all the no's, that I would hear a yes, and I think that that's been the biggest lesson for me that I always try to tell young aspiring storytellers is you can hear 400 no's, but as long as you hear that one yes, that's really all that matters, and you never know when that yes is coming, so you just have to keep moving forward.
Thank you so much. That was a beautiful answer. I do have one more because I'm just curious about the Angel and Stan relationship. There was a lot of talk on social media about Angel and Stan, her being trans, him being cisgender, and the idea that there may be violence in their relationship at some point. How do you balance the authenticity of telling the trans story with responsibility?
Question. I think that we obviously want to tell as authentic a story as possible. However, we also have to acknowledge what film and television, what the messages, rather, that film and television has been sending, for decades, right? And if we're specifically looking at the experience of Black trans women, if we're looking at the experience of trans women, period, right? More often than not, they're the catalyst for a narrative, for a cisgender character to go off and have an experience, and typically that story begins with violence being enacted towards them. And so, we spend a lot of time in the room discussing the fact that, yes, there's a lot of violence that is enacted towards trans women. However, do we really want to be contributing once again to that narrative? And the other piece to that is, the truth is that we had to acknowledge, that at press time, specifically Black trans women's life expectancy is 35, and that is really scary. And we absolutely have a responsibility to highlight that. However, we do also have to acknowledge the fact that there are trans women out there who are thriving, not just surviving, but thriving and having really wonderful life experiences. And so why not highlight that experience? Why not give that experience some shine? And maybe there isn't a whole lot of, drama or conflict attached to that narrative, but it's still critically important to tell.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.